Okay, hello. I want to do a quick video on the Victory 7'3" medium spinning extra fast rod. So this is my Victory. All right, can you see that? Yeah. I bought this about a month ago, and here's some of the issues that I have. I have two issues. I don't see people doing videos on these rods. And if I do see someone do a video on a Victory or a St. Croix rods, most of the time they're paid. So they're on their staff. So I wanted to do an honest assessment on this rod. I was looking forward to getting this rod, really looking forward to getting this rod. So I bought the rod. You can see how much tip the rod has. All right? And it's all in this first four. So the first four guides gives you a lot of tip. See that? I wanted the rod because I would like to throw light weights, light lures without weight. So that's why I bought the rod. Haven't had any issues with that. That's been pretty good. What my issue has been is keeping fish pinned. On this rod, I've had a huge issue of keeping fish pinned. When I first bought this rod, my kayak was down, so I went out to the Detroit River. On the Detroit River, you're a lot higher than the water. So after about 4 hours of fishing, nobody was catching fish. I caught about a 3-pound smallie. And as I'm working her, I'm trying to tire her out because of the height between the dock, see where you're standing, and the water. So I'm going to let her out, go out, take a little bit of line, let her go out, come back, let her out. Get to a point, I feel like I can bring her in. So I'm starting to bring her in. I'm bringing her in pretty aggressively. Trying to keep pressure on the rod because I understand that I have to lift her up quite a distance. And so as I'm doing that, right before she comes out the water, she just gives a little, not a big kick, just a little kick. Not anything that was major or anything, didn't bust out the water or anything. But as she does it, she spits it out, swims on. And she swims on, she's so tired, she doesn't just swim off, she just gradually goes away. Man, I lost her. I'm frustrated. I'm thinking about my technique, how I brought her in, and so on and so forth. I get in my kayak about a week later. Catch a fish, bringing it up, get side of kayak, about to bring it in, another bass. And as I'm doing that, spits it, goes away. God, man. Okay. Catch another fish, same thing. So what I decided to do was set up my other spinning rods exactly like this one. So I have an X Pride, 7-foot medium. This is my X Pride. Night and day. Night and day. X Pride is so much more sensitive than my Victory, which I was a little bit disappointed with that. And the way that I explain that is, with my Victory, as I'm pulling over rocks, it's more of a thud, a heavy, more of a cushion thud. That's what it is, more of a cushion thud feeling. So it's more like doop, 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 doop. More of that. Where X Pride is more like a ding, ding, ding. So it's the feeling is totally different so far as response. Well, you may say, well, that's an X Pride. Now I get it, but Shimano LSX. This is a $100 rod. And after I put down my Victory and I grab this Shimano LSX, it's amazing to me how much I feel in this rod. Now, if I'm with the X Pride and I grab this, I'm like, oh, okay. It's an LSX. I don't expect it to be like the X Pride. But when I grab the Shimano, the Victory, and I grab this, I'm surprised how sensitive this LSX is. If that makes any sense. Okay. So, getting back to the victory. So I'm losing these fish. So I break down and I call St. Croix. And I'm just asking for information. What am I doing wrong? That was my biggest thing. What am I doing wrong? I'm not losing fish on other rods. I have a $49 Daiwa. I'm catching fish on that. But I'm losing it on my victory. So what they explained to me was, after a while, Christian, he says, well, let me go ask. He said, let me go look at some information, come back. He comes back. He says, well, you're in a kayak. And because of because of how limber this rod is, and it's extra fast, you're not getting past the fourth guy in a kayak. He says, well, you maybe need to look at getting a Mojo Yak. That's another lower end rod in their category. And I said, okay. He said, well, it's made for a kayak. Shorter handle, so on and so forth. I'm like, okay. I was like, what's the warranty on that one? He says, 5 years. I'm like, well, one of the reasons that I thought I was getting the best of both worlds, I thought this would be sensitive and give me a 15-year warranty, and I can transfer up credit what I bought for this one and then go up. So with the Mojo, maybe that's something I will consider. It shouldn't be as a substitute for this one. It could be another one that goes into play, but it shouldn't be a substitute for this one. Do you understand that? Does it make sense? So, but he was great enough and gracious enough to talk to me and give me information. So far as the company, I've been more than satisfied with that aspect. Getting back to the rod, I'm a little disappointed. Doesn't pin fish. I thought the lighter tip would help allow me to do that. It's not as sensitive as I thought it would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up for this week, the next week, starting this week. So I'm going out, I think, fishing tomorrow. We got a couple of rain days, but I'm trying to go out every day. And I'm going to put my Ned rig on. Try with the Ned rig. Try with my screw head swimmers. See how that works out. And a lot of you, just so you know what my setup is, on all my spinning rods, it is 10-pound braid to 8-pound fluorocarbon. So if you need to get some wood, that's why it's not as sensitive, because you don't have braid on there. And that's why you're doing these things. Like I said, when I make an assessment, I try not to just go off emotion. I set all my rods up the same way. And I have yet to lose any fish on any of the other rods. But this one is the one that I fish the most just to see how it fishes. And it's the one that I lose the most fish. So having said that, I hope this information helps you. Because this was just for me to give out information, to be an average person, give out information. I'm sure there's some superstars out there that don't want to hear anything I have to say, and I understand that and I respect that. But for the rest of you, I hope this is beneficial, because like I said, when it comes to St. Croix rods, you just don't see a lot of information on St. Croix rods, period. And the people that I see the most are people who are selling the rods. So I wanted to give you a fair assessment of somebody who's bought the rod, who's using the rod. And again, maybe he's correct. Maybe it's just for a boat. Because like I said, I fished this offshore a few times. So maybe it's just for a boat, and it's absolutely not for a kayak. So I'll keep searching, and I'll keep giving you guys updates on how the rod is going. And then if not, I'll just send it back and get something else. So I hope you enjoy your day.